Oh boy. Okay. The trash. Let's get all the trash out of here. And then we can slowly work our way from there. What is this? Neopets Puzzle Adventure. Sitting on the floorboard. Garbage. There it is. Jehovah's Witness literature. Goodbye. Yeah, I'll come back for whatever's in there. That's a train wreck. What's up, y'all? You're oh so glorious and beloved, Mace Valor. Yeah, I really gotta. I'm just like. My brain is like all over. I should have done this days ago. Fortunately, I got busy with work. Unfortunately, I guess. Yeah, I should have had this up over the weekend, but like I said, I got swamped. So, but I'm gonna hopefully get 400 for it. 4 to 5, I'll be happy. I don't really want any less than that. So. It's a good truck. It just needs an alternator. So, whoever has the money and the time to be able to do that, by all means, they should go for it. So. I just have neither. So just because work's been picking up doesn't mean I'm raking in the dough. I finally made the cutoff, so as of today's job, I'll have enough to finish off the bills. So hopefully I can get some more jobs in before I head out to Washington. That would be nice. Just gotta save that stuff. So anyway, how are you guys doing? That's what matters. It is really hot in here. Good luck, right? Yeah. Good luck. When a vehicle doesn't run, you're never gonna get anything near what it's worth. Not running state, you know. And I anticipate that going in. If anything, I'll probably get offers maybe 200 or something. It's a 98 Dodge Durango, 218,000 miles. It's got service records dating back to 98. It had one owner before me. So, and things been taken care of pretty well. But the guy that had it lived up in the mountains. And he used it as a work truck, so obviously decades of using it as a work truck have kind of shown on it. So it's not as in pristine condition as some other ones I've seen listed in the same time frame. So obviously there's some competition, which is why I don't expect to get a whole lot. Like I said, 4 to 500 range would make me happy, but I have to understand I'm not going to be happy getting rid of this thing. So anyway, the one thing I can say though is that driving the Mazda lately, I am loving the gas mileage in that thing. So, and maybe it wouldn't be so bad to get maybe it would not be so bad to get a more fuel economic vehicle, because this is just a train wreck. You know, I spent so much money in gas on this thing, it's like I can fill up a tank and go to maybe 3 or 4 jobs. They're usually further out, that's why. But like the other day I drove from here to Nellis, which is like a 35-45 minute trip depending on traffic. And in the truck, a trip there and back would be more than a quarter of a tank. In the Mazda, it barely touched it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking something small, like small sedan along those lines. Because the cool thing is, I do a lot of crazy jobs, right? But not like I would say probably in the last 9 months, I haven't done any job that requires a big vehicle. Not a single one. I haven't done anything that's required loading in my truck. I can't afford a Prius, so I got to go from one junker to the next. So I wish I had more money, but I'm able to save after bills and everything. I'm able to save about $200 a month, and that's everything crunched down. So we've been getting a little better, but you know, things keep happening to where it's not like I can bankroll a whole lot of money. Things are kind of tight. Wind concern would be a wonderful choice, but out of the price range. So I mean, ideally, I would like a Kia Soul, but even in bad condition, they go for a lot more than this thing is than I could afford anyway. So. Anyway, it just is what it is. You gotta kind of roll with it. So, doing one thing at a time. One thing at a time until this book gets done. So. Yeah, I've gone into the conversation about this. So here's the deal: I won't have enough money to even buy the parts to fix it until probably after I got back from Washington, right? And on top of that, I still got to pay insurance, which would be coming up if I were to keep it. My insurance is like $240 a month. It's a fucking Las Vegas. I don't know why, but when I was in California for the same insurance, same level of insurance, it was $400. No, it was $40 a month. Sorry, I don't know why I said 400. It's $40 a month. Talking to my insurance agent, she told me that the reason that happens is because in Las Vegas, they take your credit score into account. The worse your credit score, the more you pay. Which, that don't make no sense whatsoever. You could have a clean driving record, but if you're, where was I? If your credit is shit, then they're gonna make it even harder for you to take care of anything. I don't know, just screwy how the system is designed, you know. It's kind of sets you up for failure. But I digress. Continuing on. So basically, mathematically speaking, when I did the entire budget, it would just be cheaper to get rid of the truck, not have to pay the insurance on it for a little while, and then basically get back into the insurance once everything is said and done. So that's kind of the plan that we're looking at right now. Is it ideal? Absolutely, positively not. But it's quite literally better than anything else. So don't need that. But you know, that's what we do, man. We just do it one day at a time. We kind of take these things as they come. You can keep your truck a little longer. Hey, what's up? Yeah, we have junkyards out here. I know I could always get a new alternator. I would need a new alternator, I would need new battery. Then I would need tools that would allow me to actually replace the damn alternator, because I have a whole lot of tools, but nothing for working on vehicles. So a lot of my, I would have to buy other like sockets and angled attachments and shit to be able to get into actually. So that's an added cost right there. And on top of that, once all that would be said and done, God knows what else would be wrong with it. It does need an oil change. It's been, I think it's a couple hundred miles over where you're supposed to change it out. So because of that fact, that's another thing that's added on into it. So when it's all said and done, it's going to cost me quite a bit just to get it up and running. And I can't even touch that until early to mid-September. Just trying to bankroll cash just to be able to afford to fix it up. On top of the fact that I'm paying an ass load for insurance. Is this person trying to... I don't know what this check is about. Hey, my old DoorDash credit card. Screw these guys, man. I haven't had to use this thing in so long, and I'm so glad. I would work my ass off on DoorDash, up to the point where if I would make $250 that week, to me that was really good. But you got to remember, driving the it was more like a little over 150 maybe I made, because you're driving so much, dude. Anyway, aside from that, work has been good. I'm got a client today. She had me reschedule for this afternoon instead of this morning. I don't know why I let her. I should have told her, hey, even though it's not, I should have told her, hey, my schedule's kind of tied up. You're gonna have to, cancel it if you don't want me coming out at that time. That's what I should have done, but I didn't, because I'm too nice. And it's only a $30 job. It's like one of the cheaper things from IKEA to put together. So, but I have a strange feeling that something fishy's going on with this job. I feel like she's got more stuff, but just booked the cheap stuff. So, but she's gonna. I just get that vibe from talking to her. There's certain vibes. You deal with certain customers long enough in different ways that they talk. How much do I make on TaskRabbit? Let's see. My best month ever, I made $4,000. Right around there. Best month ever. Out, which different markets, that's actually really good. Just different markets. When I'm up in Seattle, I make really good money because I can charge more. I can't charge what I charge up there down here because the average is, for the high end, the average is about 30 to 35 take home for the person. On the high end down here. Up there, the median is about $50. So the high end up there is upwards of people taking home $80 an hour. It's pretty significant. It's the change of markets with the cost of living and whatnot, night and day from here to Seattle. The months going to Seattle, which I'm going to be going up to Seattle now, it works out pretty good. I usually, if I'm destitute, but I take a trip up to Washington, that one trip I can do 2 or 3 jobs while I'm up there, pays for the flight. Any additional work that I do while I'm up there, I bring home the bacon essentially. So I love going to Washington because it is such a better market, but living up there is, obviously the cost of living is a lot more. So situation that I've kind of worked out. Worst month I think was like $900, probably the worst month that I've had, and I think that was probably November of last year. It's really slow. It ebbs and flows. It really does. I've noticed, because I like to look at the client side, right? That lets me see my competition, what I'm kind of up against. And I've seen that recently we've had a lot of influx of new people. Like the other day, I had this job with this other guy, and I was charging a lot more than he was. But the lady needed 2 people. We were the 2 people that were available, and he had a truck and everything, and for the use of his. Still don't want an Uber or Lyft. If I had a more fuel efficient vehicle that was decent enough to drive, sure, why not? I can't use the Mazda because it's not my vehicle, and she would sooner break up with me and leave than let me use her vehicle for Uber or Lyft. And I'm perfectly fine with not using her vehicle for that, because I don't want strange people doing strange shit in a car that doesn't belong to me. So that's not even an option, nor do I want it to be. But if I had my own vehicle, then they nope. Oh my goodness, nope, that is not happening. Nope, I'm not falling into that trap. Not falling into that trap to that pocket, dude. That's not happening. So here's how that works. I pride my channel on the gig economy, right? I do my research, I talk to people and whatnot. The thing with renting a vehicle through one of those programs, I don't remember if they even do it anymore. I think they partnered through Hertz or Enterprise, one of the two. But everyone takes a cut off of that. It's actually cheaper to rent your own car from them than it is to do it through that program. Because Uber and Lyft, they're actually making money off of that partnership. So when you're paying the weekly fee to rent the vehicle, a portion of that fee that you're paying goes directly into Uber and Lyft. It's not like, hey, we're going to help you out so you can be successful. It's like, no, that's just another method for them to actually gain revenue. On top of that, I've had customers that I've seen that have asked me about TaskRabbit and they want to know about it, and then they bring up Uber and Lyft. It's like, oh yeah, things were going good. I was driving with them, my car died. I rented one through their program. Next thing you know, I stopped getting rides, but I still have to pay for the car. So you're telling me that before I rented the car, I was getting rides all the time. The moment that I rent the car, and that's under my profile, I'm not getting rides anymore. I probably I'll be working for 8 hours, probably get maybe two rides, and this went on for a couple months, and so I'm paying out of pocket for this car, trying to work this job, and I'm not getting any fucking money. No, that they have it set up in the algorithm to where it literally sets you up for failure. You would think that it would be beneficial, because it's like, oh, you do X amount of rides and it covers the cost of the vehicle. Well, then you're just paying just to have the damn car and drive it around. You're not really making any money unless you meet a certain threshold. It doesn't benefit Uber to have you go past that threshold. So let's say it's $250 a week, right? You'll get enough rides to cover the $250 for the week, but then you'll go cold turkey. You don't get anything else unless you're working these crazy hours trying to be out there when no one else is. So the mathematics of it does not equate out to success unless you're lucky. Unless you're lucky with being able to get rides consistently, then yeah, sure, it might work out for you. So here's the thing, as I say with all of it, man, I'm open. Am I open to doing something like that? If it was my own vehicle that I owned that could get into that program, by all means, no worries, I'll do it. I'll give it a try. But there are certain avenues that I just stick away from. Yeah, I don't know about that. People think that unions are like this magical thing. Unions, they really aren't. Unions aren't just people banding together so that we say, hey, we're only going to work if we get X, Y, Z said and done on our behalf by the company. It doesn't happen that way. I mean, it's a good notion to have. It's kind of the ethos of what of a union is supposed to be. It's kind of mandated and taken control by the people that are actually doing the work. But in reality, unions are basically set up like any other company that work with another company. So the idea of starting a union might be this great wholesome thing, but historically, whenever a union is actually set in place, it usually screws over the worker. They're usually able to get work more consistently, but they typically they'll get a cut in pay because the union takes their own dues from it. So imagine if you're a part of a rideshare union for Uber or Lyft, right? Exactly, another hand in your pocket. If you're a part of a union for a rideshare company, then the union itself is also dipping into your earnings because you're a part of the union. You have to pay union dues. And typically it's a flat rate to join the union, like a couple $1,000s just to be a part of it. Plus, take a portion of every single fucking paycheck that you get. Usually a percentage. Back in California, to be an apprentice in their union, it was 10% or $3, whichever one is greater, from every single paycheck that you get. So you might make $25 an hour, but they're taking 10% of that $25 or $3, whichever is every single hour that you're working. But you get taxed on the full amount. They don't get taxed. You don't get. That's the other kind of messed up thing. The way that our taxes are done, it's done on our gross instead of our net. So yeah, it might say that, oh man, I'm part of this union. I'm going to get crazy work this year. I made $70,000. Man, I was killing it this year. That was gross. How much did I actually make? Well, Uber and Lyft, they pay out, so they already took their portion, so that's not even accounted for. I got to worry about that. But the union took 10%, so the union took, in this year alone, they took $7,000. But I'm getting taxed on my gross or over my net. So Because remember, we don't do traditional payroll, so we have to do it on our own at the end of the year, which is why it goes after gross instead of net. For you 1099 folks out there, which is most of us. So because of that fact, then you're actually paying more in taxes than you should. You're not getting taxed on what you actually took home. You're getting taxed on the money that you brought in overall. Whereas a union, that's their union dues. In a true capitalistic society, we would not have unions, though. So you can't go off and say, like, oh, this is America. It's capitalism. You got to pay to play. You can't. No, unions are a very, very leftist thing. Anti-capitalistic, okay? So you can't sit there and advocate for unions while at the same time saying that it's okay, it's all part of capitalism. Unions, in and of themselves, are anti-establishment, anti-capitalistic. So that's essentially, I don't know, it's not an oxymoron. That refers to, sorry. It's choosing the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils would be the red tape. Yes, we do need a voice. We do need actually, dude, there's another YouTuber that I know. His name is Chris. He lives up in Seattle. And this guy, he's actually a part of a workers, I can't remember the name of it, but he's a part of a legislative group of individuals that are advocating for workers' rights within the gig economy. So not pertaining to just food delivery, because he mainly did DoorDash. DoorDash, guys, his YouTube channel, just check him out. He's great. He's got a lot of information as it pertains to workers' rights and stuff within being an independent contractor. Here's the thing: a lot of gig economy companies completely break the independent contractor relationship, and this is what it boils down to: scope. Take a look at TaskRabbit, for example. The scope of the work mandated by myself as an independent contractor. Yes, there are rules and guidelines I need to adhere to be in good standing with the contract of working with the platform that I'm working with. But at the end of the day, any of the scope of the work and or labor that goes through is done by me with the customer. The problem when it comes to scope is that TaskRabbit, as much as I love them, we got to be honest, they put their hands too far into scope. Okay, they put their hands way too far into scope, and they try to dictate what we can and cannot do. So for a gig economy platform to be truly developed in such a way for its pro independent contractor, it would have to boil down as such: payment threshold and lead generation. You're an independent contractor. You want to do XYZ for work. This is what you are designated that you want to do on this platform. We will provide you clients to work. We will be essentially this middleman from you to them. And at the same time, we will also collect payment, withhold a portion of that payment as essentially a finder's fee, and then send you the rest. That's kind of where it's at. So, because you're using a platform, you need to have a utilization of information, right? So with DoorDash, one of the problems that I had working with them is it was very difficult to get a hold of clients sometimes. And you're only given third-party phone numbers. You're never really given the direct client information, privacy and all that. But that does hinder the work, because then it means that I need to contact support. Postmates was horrible for this, because there isn't, from the time when I was doing Postmates, there was no real support. If you had an issue come up, there was no phone number that you could call. There was no human being you could talk to. An issue would come up, you would kind of out on your own. Which is, to a degree, how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to kind of be left on your own devices because you're the one doing this work. The problem is they do not give you the time. By not having a phone number to call when an issue had arisen, they're locked out of any support on the platform to actually be able to do your contracted work properly. At the same time, by not providing the customer's information, like let's say they weren't picking up the phone and they weren't texting back or this, that, and the other, or they provided the wrong phone number. These are things that become difficulties for us, because everything is with good reason held through with privacy. So you don't get the actual number for the client. You get this third party stuff. You picking up what I'm putting down? I'm trying to be coherent at least. Let's see. It's 1 o'clock. Clean that out. Anyway, what are y'all up today? I'm just sitting here cleaning this truck. I'll need this. What's all this? Let's see. It's garbage. 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 These are all right, the front axle. When was this? What's the date? In Denver, Colorado. What's the date? Oh. Why don't you just put it down? Oh, alright, 2017. And this is... Okay, I can keep those in now. And everyone's leaving. Which is fine. These things happen. Gotta hold on to that. I'm just waiting for people to jump in, man. You know me. We're gonna be A-okay. Mace Valor ain't worried about it. Alright. Let's see. Let me try. Okay. All that stuff needs to... Let's take on board. A little bit helps, not too bad, huh? It's pretty hot today, not gonna lie. How is everyone doing today? Your guys' agenda, that's what I like to know, you know? See what y'all are up to out there in the community. See where we're at, where we're flowing, you know what I mean? Looking a little bit there, that's not bad. I don't know why this thing just keeps doing that. Sorry about your truck. Nah, it's all good. These things happen. I try not to let it stress me out, you know? What have I said like a million times? When we have problems, we acknowledge them, but then we search for solutions. So, which is, you know, I've come up with the solution I have because it works for me in my particular situation and lifestyle. I've crunched numbers, I've done the math, and it just seems to add up. So, it may not add up for you guys, which is why I appreciate your guys' advice, opinions, this, that, and the other. You know, kind of what you guys would do in this particular situation. I get it. I appreciate it. It does not follow in line with mine. Just like I'm pretty sure your situation, whatever it might be, I may not have the right solutions for because I'm not in your shoes. But at the end of the day, we're all part of this community trying to help one another, which is very good. So as long as we keep trying to be there for one another, we keep the conversation flowing. That's all that matters, right? This guy has to park right there, of course. All right. So far, so good. From what I'm seeing, I do have to start bagging a lot of this out. First things first, I'm gonna get all these coins. I'm gonna try and write my ass off tonight. This chapter is gonna be kind of a long one, so. Alright, cool. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell is wrong with that. Keeps moving. Anyway. I'm just waiting for people to start chit-chatting. You know me. Y'all know me. I don't even know what some of these keys are for. Let's just load that a little bit more with some armor all. Get this gunk off. Oh, yeah. That helps quite a bit. Really toasty in here. It's a bunch of magic cards. Hold on to that. Try and get rid of those. Throw them up on eBay, I guess. Leftover stock. I need to find a way to just go super cold turkey on this thing, man. That's all caked. That should be popped out. be in the other one. Alright, that's good. We're getting there. So, I've taken care of the front part. I should probably get ready to start taking pictures in a minute. So, let me. I think in there. It's definitely good in there. Take a shower after this. About to actually start unloading all of it, but I got this. I'm still here. Still here. You just added $10,000 in value to the truck just by cleaning it, right? I'm here. Sorry if you didn't see me. Yeah, my phone's overheating, so I'm probably... Yeah, I just got a notice. Oh God. Yeah, I'm gonna let my phone cool down. Holy shit, it is really hot. As always, I'm Real So Glorious and Above Maze Valor signing off.